Hey babes, welcome back to Coffee Over Apples. My name is Steph. This is Rat. Say hi, Rat. It is a bi-monthly wrap-up. We're going to briefly review all the books that I read in March and April. First, let's throw some stats on the screen because stats are always fun to look at. I read quite a bit of arcs, and overall my yearly score is still pretty high, I'd say, because I'm still over 4.0. I've only had a handful of books that have been less than 4 stars. That's pretty amazing. If you'd like to support my channel anyway and join any of the book clubs that I'm going to mention, everything is linked down below. You can get access to the Annotation Station book club that I run by becoming a channel member at any level or joining the Interstellar Sci-Fi book club at the Discord link. Let's talk about the 2 books that I don't have because I read them digitally or listened to them in audio. Everything is Tuberculosis by John Green. This book was really good. It was my first actual John Green novel, even though I've listened to them on podcasts and watched videos of them, follow them online. They're extremely smart and insightful. This hit in a really good way. And what I wanted him to talk about, he really did talk about here, and that was the way that systemic racism has created this global oppression through the history of medicine. He talks about tuberculosis and how it was once revered, how it has been weaponized by modern policies, and uses one specific person that he met from start to finish as an exemplification of what it's like to live with tuberculosis. And if you've never read a John Green before, I highly recommend to start here. Or if you're just looking for a really insightful nonfiction that's just really easy to listen to, check out this audiobook. I also read To Sing Like a Mockingbird. This was sent to me by Break Even Books. This book was okay for me. I think that it's for a very specific audience. But if you're someone who's from like the Southwest, you want to talk about immigrant experience and education with a little bit of mafia spiced in, throw that in there. In no particular order, On Tyranny by Timothy Snyder. I didn't like this. This was my 2-star read, my only 2-star of the year so far. This wasn't good for me. Now, I don't think that people can't get anything out of this. Actually, I would still maybe encourage people to listen to other people talk about it. Concepts like do not obey in advance are very important, especially right now. But I would say that I'm not entirely a fan of the way that he suggests we deal with these issues. I feel like this book was actually too short. It needed to be a little bit longer because simply giving us a 1 or 2 page, sometimes a little bit of history, but not enough history, I think, to make an impact, and also not enough space to be able to have a constructive conversation. Sometimes saying less is not saying more. It opens up too much space for debate, and I don't think that the author was able to make this as impactful as they wanted to. Giovanni's Room by James Baldwin. I loved this book. Amazing, incredible. If you haven't read it, you need to read it. I cried in this. I just hugged my couch and cried. A closeted queer man is in so much denial when he lives in Paris with his fiance who's gone on holiday to Spain, and he has a relationship with a barista named Giovanni. Giovanni is trying to live a life, but David, the main character, is annoying and is a walking tragedy. We know from the beginning of this book that it's going to be a tragedy, and it's been a long time since I've read a book that I can say this is a tragedy through and through. Another one that I'm going to say everyone should probably pick this up. Futbolista by Johnny Garcia. I love this too. It was so sweet. A Mexican love story. It's new adult. It's the author's first new adult, and our main character, Gabi, is gonna become a soccer superstar, but they're facing a lot of backlash, not just from the soccer community being very homophobic, but internalized homophobia within his teammates and people that he knows within Hispanic culture. And he's very worried that he's going to lose everything that he's worked hard for because of who he's fallen in love with. Once again, this author has not let me down by writing a story that is just beautiful and demonstrates wholesome, healthy relationships with friends, with family, with the people that are around him to give him the support that he needs. 10 of 10 recommend. The Haunting of Alejandra by V. Castro. This was great. This was so much fun. I still think about this book. If you're not familiar with the folktale of La Llorona, it's the spirit of a ghostly woman who captures children at night in the forest, or just steals children. Would Baba Yaga be the closest thing that I can compare that to? Maybe. If anyone has a better suggestion of what you can compare La Llorona to, please drop it in the comments. This story is about the horrors of motherhood, and this hit me on a really visceral level. Alejandra has kids and a white husband. She is Mexican. It's a generational story, so we're finding about this curse that is within her family, and her husband just doesn't get it, so she's looking to other women from her culture to help her solve what the heck is going on and why is she being haunted by La Llorona. Just delicious Mexican horror. Nameless Things by Ernest Jensen. This was a fun horror, and my favorite thing about it was just chaos. Chaos. If you like The Troop and you like Tremors, you're going to have a good time with this. This guy goes camping with his best friend because his boyfriend broke up with him and he just kind of like needs to get away from it all. They're in this basin in Colorado, I think. A meteorite strikes and cuts off part of the way to get out of the basin, and there's killer worms on the loose. It's marvelous. The author was so creative with the way that the horror escalated in here. Like, I honestly don't think I would have survived. And sometimes those are my favorite ones. The ones where I'm like, ooh, messy. Destroy All Humans, They Can't Be Regenerated. The Magic the Gathering manga, volume 3. This was so cute. This was my favorite volume that I've read so far. I gave this 5 stars. My babies. They're so cute. All they're doing is playing Magic the Gathering. It's set in the late 90s, a couple years after Magic has come out. They're in middle school, like 8th grade, I think, maybe. Stupid little friend drama hanging out at the local game shop, and they just want to play Magic, but they have curfew and papers to write, so their parents won't always let them play, but they're also learning about the new cards that are coming out, new sets that are coming out. Playing Magic to be able to get someone's attention. Yu-Gi-Oh, but make it slice of life and make it really cringe, and I love it. The Devils by Joe Abercrombie. I got this as an ARC from Tor, and I loved this. This was so much fun. This is one of the funnest fantasy books I've read in a really long time, and if you've never picked up Joe Abercrombie, you might want to start here. It's a little bit dark. It's sexy. It's like, I loved these characters. It's not often that I watch or read something that has the going on an adventure trope. Everyone's going on an adventure and you have all these characters that are all like a D&D campaign. They have different assets that not everybody likes each other. They really actually are trying to actively get away from each other, but they're all locked together on this journey and they need each other for survival. It is just so much fun. Supposedly this is going to be a duology, but also I've just learned that Joe Abercrombie is my flavor of dark humor. Tokyo Ghoul volumes 1 and 2. I also am in the middle of volume 3 right now, and I'm going to finish it before the month is over because I'm recording this at the end of March. I love this series. I don't know what to tell you other than it is one of my favorite series of all time. I love these characters. I love their journey. Give me a sad boy, depressed baby boy who is forced into a battle of good and evil, and all he wants to go is to the library and be left alone, but he can't because turf wars and the government won't let him. The Buffalo Hunter by Stephen Graham Jones is incredible. Stephen Graham Jones never fails to just slap. This is the most unique vampire horror that I've read in a long time. It is very heavy on the Native American revenge because fuck colonization. It pivots between 1912 and 2013 because we're following someone in the present who is a descendant of someone whose diary they found who ran a church in 1912. The pastor at that time was visited by a Native American vampire. I don't think it's a spoiler to say that because within the first 2 chapters, it becomes apparent, like, oh, he's a vampire. They use different words to describe vampire. They don't say the word vampire specifically, but they do use different folkloric terms from Native American culture and in German. I wanted to cry so many times because it making me cry over the beavers and the buffalo and the animals. I will say, if you've never read Stephen Graham Jones, I still think that you should start with Mapping the Interior because it's short and gives you a taste of what kind of horror he does. This one took a little bit of brain power to get through, so I would say don't start here, but if you've read Stephen Graham Jones and you fuck with that, you gotta pick this up. Berserk Volume 5. I am still working on another Berserk vlog. This is volumes 13, 14, 15? Poor Casca. Casca's just gone through it. We get the story with like the moth girl and the lost children. That was fucked up. That was sad. I still feel like this one was okay. Once Guts and Casca went through what they decided to do post the eclipse, I feel like the story is going in a direction similar to where it was in the beginning, and I'm just kind of here for the adventures, but because I don't have the eclipse to look forward to anymore, I don't feel necessarily as compelled, and I was just okay with the Lost Children story. Was a little bit triggering in a very specific way. It got, this whole manga is just it's so fucked. Tusks of Extinction by Ray Naylor. This is okay. I'm in the middle of it right now. I'm going to finish it today, honestly, and I feel like it's just okay. I might change my mind later on, but I'm going to be reviewing this really soon for the Interstellar Sci-Fi Book Club, so I guess I'll leave that link up above if you want to check out the review for this. Woolly mammoths are brought back from extinction like 100 years in the future from now, and they need to be taught how to woolly mammoth. I think our villain is a poacher, like a multi-billionaire poacher who's just like, new game, fun, because life is boring when you have all the money in the world. I don't like video games. Poaching, I guess. And because elephants are gone and have been gone, there's no one to teach the woolly mammoths how to live in Siberia. So they brought back the brain of a scientist from 100 years ago who was a specialist on elephant psychology and implanted her brain in a mammoth so she could be a matriarch. It's interesting enough. The words that just came out of my mouth actually sound kind of fire. But when I was reading it, it's not really feeling that way. So, whatever. Stay in your place, buddy. Anyway, those are the books that I read in March and April. Let me know if you plan on reading any of these or if you have read any of them, and if you have any suggestions based on the ones that I said I like. I am always up to adding things to my TBR. I post videos whenever creativity strikes. Thanks for watching. Bye!
Mr. Wonka worked the factory.